It's cozy season. You need blankets, pillows. You need mugs. You need
You know what I want?
tea koozie. What's your cozy season must-haves?
Holiday-themed glasses and dishware. You know, I finally got my little Christmas plates that I've wanted for years and years and years last Christmas. I want like some sort
It's
of
not
like...
my culture, but
I know it's
respect
not your culture, but I want more like Christmassy drinkware, plateware.
Okay, well, you know a great place to get that.
Wayfair.
Yeah, you gotta be stocking up at Wayfair.
I'm stocking up at Wayfair.
Because not only are you going to get the cozy items that you so desire, but you're going to get great deals on the cozy items you so desire. Because Wayfair has great deals on things your home actually needs, especially before the holidays. They have everything from sofas to spatulas. You name it, they have it. They also have styles you can't find anywhere else. No cookie cutter stuff that everyone else has, so you can make your home way more you. Right now, you can shop Wayfair's insane holiday deals and get up to 70% off during their Black Friday deals.
You know what items I'm all ready for thanks to Wayfair?
What items?
Christmas napkins. It sounds silly, but I want them and I like them.
Get them.
Christmas, they've got little Christmas trees on them.
Get
and
them.
They're napkins.
Just
okay?
just have me over and make cookies.
And you'll go, not my culture, when you like wipe your mouth, but that's fine. That's
no,
totally
I'll say
fine.
these are gorgeous.
Thank you. Don't miss out on saving big with Wayfair this holiday. Head to wayfair.com now to shop Wayfair's Black Friday deals. That's WAYFAIR.com.
You will dream it.
Yo, they wanna know.
Hey,
Mia.
hey,
Mia.
Come on.
hey. I want to be famous.
Welcome to Who Weekly, the podcast where you'll learn everything you need to know about the celebrities you don't. I'm Bobby Finger.
I'm Lindsay Weber.
And happy TJ and Amy Robach premiere day. TJ Holmes and Amy Robach. They don't have the same last name yet. Their podcast premiered today.
Respect their individuality before they have the wedding of the century.
Well, I can't wait for this wedding. You
in
know
my
what's happening.
fantasies. Well, they have to go all in now. There's no
I
turning
know,
back.
I know.
They've launched the podcast.
They have to launch the pod. The podcast
the
has to get canceled. They have
podcast.
to stop doing the podcast. They have to get another TV show. They have to get married. Then they have to get divorced. We're going to see the whole thing.
Unfortunately, because we can't time travel in this podcast, today is the premiere day, but we are recording the day before, so we
Yeah.
have not heard said podcast yet. We are promised scandals. We are promised secrets revealed. We're promised the tea.
You have to play the trailer at least.
Amy Robach
I'm Amy Robach.
and TJ Holmes.
I'm TJ Holmes.
Scandal-plagued anchor team.
Waking up to a scandal brewing behind the scenes.
Appear to be inseparable.
Scandal that's rocking boarding TV.
Much more than colleagues.
1 year later,
TJ and Amy in Los Angeles after leaving New York.
Are Amy Robach and TJ Holmes out?
Amy Robach sitting next to TJ Holmes.
The couple was seen smiling and embracing on a Los Angeles sidewalk.
Amy and TJ are back together and ready to share the real story behind the headlines.
I am nervous.
Here we go in 5. No. We were just kidding. No. Sorry.
Listen to Amy and TJ on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
I will. And maybe I will listen to this thing at midnight and like put in a little future Lindsay.
If it drops at midnight.
So happy TJ and Amy Day. Will you be listening to the first episode of their
Yes.
podcast? If you listen to this podcast, you probably will be, just because you're curious.
Yeah.
Here's the first of so many future Lindsays in this episode. The TJ and Amy episode dropped. Did I listen to it all? Yes, on 1.5 speed, and it's a banger. Here's a sneak peek.
We failed at being good crisis managers. We failed at being or understanding some level of celebrity that neither one of us thought we had. And I'm not saying we do, but in that world, affiliated with the show we were affiliated, that's just a sexy freaking story. And I just don't think we thought about it in that way that anybody would give a damn what we were doing. And look, we were, I think threatened is the right way to put this. Yeah. Days before the first pictures were taken of us, second week of November, we were directly threatened. I don't want to get into where it came from, but something was being demanded of us. And it was, if you don't do this, then we are going to make it bad for you. It was directly said to us. At that time, we We didn't see any urgency to it and weren't thinking along these lines. But 2 days after that, sure enough, there was somebody, unbeknownst to me, parked outside my home, following me to work starting at 4 a.m.
Rachel Leviss announces Rachel Goes Rogue podcast as she returns to the spotlight following Scandival controversy. That's a Daily Mail headline.
Well, I do, and I've said this, I do respect the name change. That is her, given, that's the name on the birth certificate, etc. No one knows your name is Rachel. Like, only, I guess, the real Vanderpump Rules diehards know that was being hurled at you as an insult at some point, because no one on Vanderpump Rules uses their given name. And then all of a sudden, when this girlie got in trouble, everybody was like, your given name is Rachel, not Raquel. And it's like, you all call each other by your not names. So I don't know what we're even talking about on this show. I think it is a little, I get that you rebranded, but I'm like, who is Rachel? Like, who is Rachel? Who is Rachel?
Well, according to the press release, Leviss is a Rachel who will, quote, explore a spectrum of topics, mastering self-empowerment and navigating life's challenges with grace and authenticity.
I'm Rachel Leviss. This might not be the return you were expecting, but this coming January, you'll hear my side of the story. You may just be surprised by what you find out. I hope you'll join me.
Listen to Rachel Goes Rogue, starting January 8th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
That's barely a sentence. What did I just read?
It's produced by one of the most iconic sentence makers, Bethany Frankel. So you can better bet it's going to be
the way my eyes bulged out of my head when I read that.
Nonsense. I will personally not be listening to this. It is premiering in January alongside the new season of Vanderpump Rules.
Season 11.
I'm sure on purpose. And I think Rachel, now I'm like, I think she should have gone back on this.
I'm Rachel Leviss.
I'm Rachel Leviss.
And she's not recording on a good microphone either, which is one of my biggest pet peeves. It sounds bad.
Bethany didn't send her a microphone.
I told you that I'm listening to this JFK podcast, where Rob Reiner and Soledad O'Brien are like, we're going to figure out who kills.
Yeah, does Rob Reiner know who killed JFK? Is that why he started this podcast?
No one's talking about this. Rob Reiner
because
spoke to the press.
I have a feeling he doesn't actually know.
Rob Reiner said, I'm naming 4 names. I know who killed JFK, and it wasn't just Lee Harvey Oswald. Yeah, and so I'm listening, of course. I got to know what Rob Reiner says. Well, we're going to get them in January, probably around the same time Raquel goes rogue.
You're going to get
Rachel goes rogue.
He's saving them to give you them in He's not even just, he's like, you'll
weekly.
Get this in January.
We're getting them on the finale.
I am 100% sure that it was a conspiracy. But in the podcast, we lay out very specifically how it was done, who was involved, who the shooters were, where they were positioned, and we get into all of that.
But wait a minute, but you're identifying actual individuals who you say were involved?
Names. Yes.
If her ex-boyfriend, Tom Sandoval, gets a podcast, then Rachel Leviss gets a podcast. That's fine with me. And both can go unlistened to by me personally.
But listen, she sounded bad in the trailer, like a bad microphone, bad audio quality, in a way I find offensive.
It's the least of her problems.
In Who Killed JFK, the podcast, also iHeart.
Back to not this.
Well, this is the point. This is why I brought it up to begin with. Soledad O'Brien is like talking on a normal microphone, and every time she cuts to Rob Reiner, he's talking through what sounds like AirPods, and it drives me crazy. Why doesn't he have a microphone? He's solving the JFK assassination.
What if you know who killed JFK and somebody asks you and you don't have a good microphone and you have to turn down the opportunity to share who killed JFK?
If Soledad O'Brien comes calling, you better be able to answer on a reasonable microphone.
Yes? Mappa? JFK was killed by not just one, but more people?
JFK was killed by 4 people.
It's funny that Raquel is having a podcast, and it's funny that Amy and TJ are having a podcast, but it is funnier that Rob Reiner is solving JFK's murder on a podcast.
On the #1 podcast in the country that somehow I'm not seeing any conversation about.
It's interesting that iHeart is still like one of their strategies is kind of collecting these post-scandal celebrities. Like George Santos is going to be like, hello, time for my podcast, in like a minute.
And here's the thing about George Santos. He's buying a mic. He's using someone else's money, but he's buying the mic.
Here's the thing about George Santos. He already bought a mic on the taxpayer's dole.
He already did.
taxpayers' dole. You know what I mean? On the taxpayer's bill.
He definitely bought a mic that's nicer than our mics. He was like, just because.
For sure.
It's not my money, honey. That's what he
That
said,
was a
and then he bought the
pun.
mic.
Do you get it?
Oh,
For
of course.
sure.
Yeah.
The mic brand.
George Santos is back, and he's ready to share the real story behind the headlines.
To set the record straight and put this in the record on my first podcast.
Is it true that you have an OnlyFans page and you can peel a banana with your feet?
I don't have one. I just discovered what OnlyFans was about 3 weeks ago.
This might not be the return you were expecting, but this coming January, you'll hear my side of the story. You may be surprised at what you find out. I hope you'll join me.
Listen to George Santos on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Future Lindsay here. FYI, for anyone super gullible, that was fake. I made that. AI is a scary tool. See ya. Bye.
What's
Sorry, we have
going
stories.
on today?
We have a lot of stories happening in the news
It's
today.
December. What's going on?
Unbelievable.
What?
Well, I'm saying it's unbelievable that it's December 2023.
Oh.
Also unbelievable, Felicity Huffman is finally speaking up about the college admissions scandal. She, I guess, has never spoken publicly about this, which we
kind of
hadn't really thought about
her. And meanwhile, Lori Loughlin has made her way back into the good graces of America. Like, no one's
She's
even
doing
giving a
Steve
shit about her.
Madden ads. She's going back to that little town with the train.
She's going to that little show that she was on. They're taking her back. They're saying, when calls the heart? Lori Loughlin, get on back here. No one cares anymore.
All aboard. Meanwhile, Felicity's like,
Choo-choo.
I had to do this. Well,
to be fair, Felicity went to
She
jail.
did.
So, like,
She went to prison.
she spent 11 days in prison. 11 hard-won days in prison.
I forgot that it was only 11 days.
I do like this. So she's talking, you kind of got to like wait. I do like that she spoke because she said something funny, which was, it felt like I had to give my daughter a chance at a future, Huffman said in an interview with ABC7. And so it was sort of like my daughter's future, which meant I had to break the law.
Well, like,
and everybody was like,
well, the reason,
what?
she was like, my daughter wasn't getting into any of the colleges that she wanted. And it's like, well, that's your daughter's problem. Like, maybe your daughter should have done better in school.
Yeah, she was like, Yale, Brown, Harvard. That's the colleges I wanted, She did it to promote, and I think this is actually an amazing thing that she is doing. I think it's cool. Like, her 11 days in jail made her be like, people getting out of jail, like, they have a really fucked up situation ahead of them, And so she got involved, and she's on the board of A New Way of Life, which is a women's nonprofit, which is like they help women who've recently gotten out of jail find jobs and find communities, and they support them, and et cetera, et cetera. And so she is doing this interview. What she's trying to do is she's like, I'm going to speak and I'm going to sound stupid, but I'm also going to promote this advocacy work that
You're
going to
click the link. I'm going to link out.
I did click the link because guess what? I wanted to see her photo on the board of directors. I wanted to make sure she was actually involved.
She's actress / producer / member of the board.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny to just be like normal people and then Felicity Huffman in front of a bush.
She also said that when they handcuffed her, she said, "Is this a joke?" It's like
I had forgotten that she never spoke out about this. I guess it was such a swift move from like scandal to prison that I just never really thought about it. And Lori was doing all the talking for her.
She was doing all the talking, and also she had the more public daughter in it all,
Yeah,
so
I guess
like,
Olivia
both
was
of
doing
them
all the
were
talking.
kind of,
yeah.
And Olivia went right back to work, and by work I mean selling like Amazon.com products or whatever, but not from the dorm room because I think she dropped out. The thing is like none of these girlies even had to go to college in the first
which is what
place.
we talked about in 2019.
Which was so
many years ago.
TJ Holmes is here with more on the 21-year-old discussing her family's, quote, big mistakes, as she put it.
Yeah, and she said she was embarrassed, she was ashamed, it was wrong. And of her family, she said, we messed up. Now, we are hearing from her here from the first time. She's doing this at the Red Table. And Jada Pinkett Smith said Olivia Jade called them and asked to come to the Red Table because she wanted a safe place. And it was clear that at least one person at that Red Table didn't even want Olivia Jade to be there.
Every year, we get Oscars, Grammys, Emmys. No one cares about these things.
Critics'
Tonys.
Choice Awards.
We're EGOTing.
Yeah.
But is anybody fee-gotting? And that's my question to you. Is anybody fee-gotting?
Is foot Footwear, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Honestly, someone must be figotting.
Is anybody winning the Footwear News Awards award, and as well as the rest of those? So that I would be calling a figot, which is even greater than an egot.
Figotting is so disgusting.
Has anyone achieved figot? I'm sorry, would you rather it be like a different, would you rather F go in a different
It'll end
place?
up being like Quentin Tarantino will figot. He'll somehow win some Footwear News Award.
I don't think he's one. They don't have like a weird guy who loves feet award.
Who loves feet award. I mean, they have different. They're one of those awards bodies that just like makes up different awards every year.
Well, I do think the only person who could possibly maybe figot is if Whoopi Goldberg was like,
right.
I'm doing a line with Croc. I'm doing.
She does wear 6 shoes.
I'm doing like Merrell's. Like if she was doing like a very but she's more of a kooky shoe, not like a popular shoe.
Yeah.
Right.
But she's still at least known for having shoes that get people talking.
Yes. The other person who could figot is Storm Reid, who won Style Influencer of the Year for her partnership with New Balance. If she said, I'm taking the acting and singing and dancing and theater world by storm in the next 10 years and said, I'm ready to EGOT, she only has the F in figot.
All she has left is the EGOT. That's easy.
All she has left is the EGOT. And everyone says the F is the hardest letter to get.
I think that's true. Because Jessica Simpson won the Icon Award.
Do you think that's true?
Yes, Jessica Simpson won the Icon Award, but she's not going to EGOT. We know this.
How do you know? Just mention Jessica Simpson on in a theater performance on stage.
No, she's not EGOTing. And I don't think she wants. I think she's lost all sort of desire to EGOT, She's all in on these feet. She chose feet. She made her shoe, and now she's walking
to see if anybody I wish the problem is that because Footwear News is so underappreciated, I can't really see a list of every single winner. I'm like, I would really have to go through the archives. Wikipedia is not. No, I mean of all time to see if anybody has figotted. Mm-hmm. If somebody has figotted that we don't know about, and maybe you work for Footwear News, which honestly seems like a good job in media at this point because I'm looking at the site and I'm like, active. Let us know.
Yeah, we'd appreciate
Let us
that.
know. So who rolled up to the figots? I mean not the figots. The Footwear News Achievement Awards. It's actually the FNAAs.
In New York City. Well, Jessica Simpson, because she was the main honoree. Leah Michelle was there. Kate Upton was there. It was at Cipriani Wall Street. Also, Jessica Simpson's mother was there.
All the way to Cipriani Wall Street.
We're going to, what is it?
We're
taking
quoting
the
Fergie,
subway all the way down to Cipriani Wall Street.
Cipriani Wall Street.
We are. What does she say when she's like, because there's a tropical storm outside.
Hey, what's up? So we're taking the subway because a tropical storm hit New York, and we had to get from Columbus Circle to Cipriani Wall Street. Full white suit. Check it out.
Do you think she was going to the Footwear News Daily Achievement Awards or whatever?
Wait, you know what she could have been going to? She could have been going to the Footwear Fergie, Subway, Cipriani. Fergie rides the New York City subway and it will never be the same, wrote Cole Delbick. Okay, it was in March.
Nelly. Fergie makes rare red carpet appearance at the Footwear News Achievement Awards 2022.
Oh, no, that wasn't this one.
Last year.
Okay, you know what? She went to the Paley Honors.
Last year, she kicked up her metal-plated platform heels and disco pants with Nelly.
Cipriani Wall Street has quite a racket going on, doesn't it? Let's just host the most ridiculous award shows every week.
It's the only place to host an award show for shoes.
That isn't real.
The shoe Oscars. I'm just so happy that Fergie has attended the Footwear Achievement Awards at Cipriani Wall Street.
Yes, me too.
Because that means she went back there.
So
this year was not as star-studded as last year.
It wasn't. I was looking for more celebrities. They were not coming out to play.
They were not. Dua Lipa attended last year.
We got no one
to celebrate her shoe thing.
We got a lot of shoe people, and I'm sure if you were in the shoe industry, you'll hear some of these names and be like, oh, not Manolo himself. Plenty of people like that came, but in terms of thems, who's, it was a small list. It was a short list.
Well, the thems of the show were Adidas, Samba, and Hoka, brands, shoe brands, which
Ms.
I think is
Hoka
what they're trying to focus on. Yeah, exactly. But also Howard White and Michael Greenberg, which I'm sure those are important people, but they're of the shoe world.
I'm sure those are important people. Monsieur Zappos came. You know, that's it. Jessica Simpson is one of them, right? She has to be, right?
Yes.
I think for the footwear alone.
Remember her Flonase ad where she was like definitely on too much Flonase? And I didn't even know you could do too much Flonase, but she did too much Flonase.
Hey guys, climate change is impossible to ignore, especially for my friends in LA. We know. So many of us were affected by the wildfires a few years back, and now rising temperatures are always in the back of our minds.
What I liked about this cover story on the FN website, they were talking about like what it means. Jessica, like tell us what it means to be an icon because she's winning the Icon Award. And she goes in this very long explanation that made me laugh because I'm like, wow, icon really has lost all meaning, but I kind of love it. She goes,
yeah,
an icon is someone who's not afraid to take risks. And often their choices don't make sense in the immediate, but they're part of an enlightened understanding of the big picture. It's someone who transcends a particular time or place and defines a moment. And then I'm going to quote the rest of the story. To stop right there would sum it up well for Simpson, but the discussion continues at length and quickly turns meta, meandering into the spiritual, quote, an icon is always aligned in their purpose, the inspirational, quote, I feel like a lot of people need to believe in themselves more, that they can be iconic. And the just plain honest, quote, it's rare when an icon comes along because so many people are just controlled by fear. I like how they spun
Honestly,
like Jessica Simpson wouldn't stop speaking and then they turned it into this like elegant paragraph.
I have to say, it's in our culture, it's not rare to be an icon.
No,
anymore
I know.
because everything is iconic. Yeah, no, true. And I gotta say, out of all the girlies of that era, the least iconic one is Jessica Simpson.
Yes.
Am I happy for her that she found her way into like making a ton of money
She's
off
gone through
shoes?
it.
Yes, that's so great. And sometimes when I'm in like Marshalls or TJ Maxx or whatever, I pick up a pair of shoes and they happen to be hers, and I'm like, oh, there she is.
Good for
But
her.
it's not iconic, right? I mean,
Oh no, it's not iconic at all.
okay.
Well, maybe she is an actual shoe icon. I'll give her that.
No, a shoe icon is like Mr. Birkenstock.
She's got $1 billion
like,
business.
So that's money. Like, could you describe to me one of her shoes? Like, does she have a shoe that is like
Shiny.
transcendent?
Shiny.
No, that everyone knows. Like, the Croc is an icon at this point, right?
The Hoka is an icon. The Air Force One, yeah.
You get what I'm saying. Like, okay, yeah, her shoes are making a lot of money, but I can't think of a specific shoe she's made. Katy Perry is out here making shoes that like smell like avocado. They're scratch and sniff. That's more iconic than this.
SJP also makes sparkly shoes that always have like a little brooch in the center of them, you know?
You know what's more iconic than her shoes? When she made that hair gel that you could also eat, right? Or the body, she made that body
I don't remember
foam that
what
you could
you're
also
talking
eat.
about at all, and I'm actually like disturbed. What are you talking about?
Jessica Simpson made like a sexy body whip before Cardi B that you could like eat or something.
Jessica Simpson.
And it was called like Sexy Body Whip.
What happened to Jessica Simpson's dessert edible beauty brand? In 2004, the pop star, I don't remember this at all. In 2004, the pop star changed the beauty industry when she released Dessert, the reportedly first ever line of kissable and tasteable beauty products that included lip gloss, body cream, fragrances, hair, and body mist. Dessert girls are full of sweetness and desire, and they don't mind getting their hair a little messed up in the name of seduction. Sexy girls want a taste.
Fans in New York this weekend lined up for the unveiling of her new line of edible cosmetics. Sephora was packed with people, but Jessica says there's always room for dessert.
We created a really amazing product that tastes as good as it smells, which kind of is the first ever like fragrance line that you can actually taste.
Hubby Nick Lachey was also on hand, mainly to say the products passed his taste test.
Very sensual product, which I was fortunate enough to be able to taste test.
Just in case you're wondering, the edible line doesn't have labels listing calories, but Jessica is expected to get a fat paycheck. She could make a fortune off the products, which sell from $19 to $45. Now that's rich.
No, they definitely had Mark Ruffalo from Deep Waters like showing up to Dessert's headquarters being like, you have to shut this down.
Okay.
Nothing but
so
Teflon.
I guess, again, an entrepreneur for such a lot. She's been an entrepreneur forever.
She is.
She really has.
She is.
She really has.
She has been.
Lickable. Beckham
Beckham Watch. Originally, I just put one Beckham thing in here, and then I walked back into the doc, and there were tons of Beckham things. So we haven't done Beckham Watch in a while.
Timmy's really good at finding Beckham stuff.
The Beckhams,
at this point, I think.
The first Beckham
we never
thing
do them.
that I added was this headline
Beckham
Beckham Watch was from, oh no, they didn't, on December 1st. Victoria Beckham shares video of 18-year-old son Cruise's spontaneous performance, that's in quotes, at a local pub. And we know it's a spontaneous performance because she called it spontaneous performance last night at the pub.
I'm losing track on which kid does what. Because every time we don't talk about them, I forget which kid is playing soccer, which kid is singing, which kid is a girl, which kid is Brooklyn Beckham. You know, like I know there's Cruz. I know there's
you should remember Cruz.
What?
Cruisin'. He's cruising.
He has
Karaoke
bum off
song.
at his
singer.
So you're saying he's the singer.
That's your mnemonic device.
Harper is a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And Brooklyn Beckham is proudly showing off his tray of Dunkin' Donuts at LA's Chain Fest Food Festival.
So mad about this.
After insisting he's working his bum off at his cookery career.
I'm so mad about this.
I have to say, you couldn't pay me enough money if I was Brooklyn Beckham to serve donuts at the Dunkin' sponsored thing. You're just asking for people to be like, the future of Brooklyn Beckham working at Dunkin' Donuts. You know what I mean? Like, not that there's anything wrong with working at Dunkin' Donuts. I actually would love to work at Dunkin' Donuts. But the photos of him making the donuts.
Right, they're going to make fun of him for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, do better in this. Why is he working the donut counter at this event?
I have a bigger question.
Why? What's the bigger question? What is this event?
This is at the LA Chain Fest Food Festival, and there are all these little like food trucks or food carts, and he's at the Dunkin' Chain one. And I was like, why does Chain ring a bell? And it's that BJ Novak,
the BJ Novak thing.
Where where what the whole concept of this restaurant, which we've talked about in the past, is that they have like bespoke, like artisanal versions of famous chain restaurant classics.
Right. So you're saying
why are
Dunkin'
you pairing
should
with an
not be
actual
involved?
brand? Yes.
Right. Dunkin' should not be allowed to serve their,
No.
I'm sorry, not artisanal. Number one, not artisanal donut, Dunkin' Donuts, at this festival.
No.
And why is Brooklyn Beckham fake making these not artisanal donuts? Or are they like having him make these special donuts that are like Dunkin' in cooperation with Dunkin'?
I mean, look.
Again, it makes no sense. I hate this.
I
we hated it before. We still hate it.
I understand that. Like, why is he doing this? He's doing this because Duncan was like, "Hey, can we give you like $300,000 to do this?" And he was like, "Fine." But like, it really, I'm continuously surprised by the fact that he is diluting his brand repeatedly.
He is.
Because it sort of, it feels like
is.
he's like, I'm just going to take as much money as I can before Nicola has a baby, and then I become a full-time house husband for the rest of my life, and I never do any work again.
Well, when will the farce be over? I'm sorry. When will the Brooklyn Beckham is cooking farce be over? I'm serious. Well, he said, to be honest, I'm used to the hate. It doesn't bother me. Cooking makes me happy. But like, you can cook and not have it be your job, or like trying to tell people like it's your passion. It's gonna be what you do for a living. Like, that's the thing. It doesn't bother me. Cooking makes me happy. I have more important things to worry about than people saying a bit of rubbish about me. My message to them is to keep writing whatever they want to write. There are always going to be people who try and pull you down. He's working his bum off.
He is. And you know what else?
God.
He got what he wanted. He got a wife.
A rich wife?
He got a wife.
Yeah.
He got Nicola
He's really rich
Peltz.
anyways.
And fuck everything else. He doesn't care because his number one goal was to get Nicola, and he got her.
People paid $75
To go to this?
to eat. I'm sorry, but to eat like Chili's and Dunkin', Jack in the Box, Panda Express. Do you guys
like
realize that
fake
you could just
versions
go
of
to these restaurants and half of these, they didn't pay these brands because they're doing Spawn for like their.
I hate this so much. This is in a way, everything I hate about Los Angeles.
Right. Somebody commented, and I'm not normally reading the comments on these, but someone said, why doesn't he open a restaurant rather than be an influencer?
It's too much work.
Too much effort.
Yeah, too much
I
work.
agree. I'm like, if you are working so hard and you want to put your money, which he has plenty of, where your mouth is, well, where your cooking skills are, open a restaurant, support a different chef, like make somebody's restaurant dreams come true. Like be an investor in food.
Working at a restaurant, no matter what your job is at the restaurant, is famously one of the hardest and most like
But he doesn't
physically
have to
draining jobs
work there.
possible.
He can just pay for the restaurant. But it's also a very famously not money-making job, and industry. So I'm like, Brooklyn Beckham, who has nothing to lose here, should invest his money in a delicious restaurant. You know, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, it would be nice if it were a success, but I think the risk of that is that if that restaurant is not a flop, and most restaurants are flops, then that's just another humiliation for him.
Oh, he looks worse than he does now. Not possible. Not possible. I'm just saying, like...
I mean, maybe he wants to work with the restaurant and chefs are like, I don't want to work with you.
I don't think any chef would turn down his money to open a restaurant if they couldn't do so themselves. Because it's like free money. You have to let him work in the kitchen once a month or something. Meanwhile, David Beckham chops cucumbers into hearts for daughter's Harper's water. God, I'm sorry. This is the worst headline. David Beckham chops cucumbers into hearts for daughter's Harper's water. Quote, such a good daddy.
Well, that should just say for daughter Harper's water. There's a typo in the headline. Yeah. That's too much work. I'm sorry. That's too much work. Okay, what's next? The thing that's freaking me out. I'm freaking out.
Nicola Peltz is a star.
Nicola Peltz is writing, directing, and starring in a movie called Lola that was acquired by a distributor, Vertical.
Well, here's what I'm saying. Somebody in the Beckham Peltz family is putting their money where their mouth is. She's directing, writing. She's probably producing. You know, like that's...
And it's finished.
They also got Virginia Madsen.
Virginia Madsen. Did you see the meme I made? It's Tiffany Pollard screaming, Virginia Madsen. That's great. That's a huge win for the Peltz Beckham family. And finally...
If in case you're wondering what Romeo was up to, Romeo Beckham shows off his new mooch tattoo in tribute to his girlfriend, Mia Reagan. Romeo Beckham is not only a footy player, but he is a wife man. He's a wife guy. He loves his girlfriend, Mia Reagan. He loves
his girlfriend. Moving on, there's a huge question that's been lingering in my brain for the past, 4 days? What the fuck did Ryan Phillippe watch on Friday night? He tweeted, I'm a little sick and was going to get in bed and watch something. Any suggestions? Was debating Oppenheimer, but open to other ideas.
When I first saw this, my first thought that came to my head wasn't he in Oppenheimer? But he was like the one man who wasn't.
He was the one man who wasn't in Oppenheimer. Yeah.
I was like, was he in it? He just hasn't seen it yet. For all I know, is all men that are being mentioned are in Oppenheimer. Romeo Beckham,
it's
Oppenheimer.
It's a good assumption to make.
If you weren't in on it, where were you?
People were responding to him. Just random followers were saying things like, Dumb Money was a good watch and good story. And he responded to some of them. Was considering that too. Someone goes, Barbie, and he says, saw it with my daughter, actually enjoyed it. Someone else says, have you seen The Holdovers yet? Pretty sure it's out to rent digitally now, and it's so fucking good. And Ryan says, no, I haven't.
No, I haven't.
Someone else recommends a Criterion Channel movie called Godland, and he responded, I've never heard of this. We'll watch a trailer.
So did we ever get the answer as to what he watched?
I responded, hope you're feeling better, Ryan. What did you end up watching on Friday night? Dying to know what you chose. 156 people liked it. So we must have been seeing some notifications.
Responding. Well, 4,000 people saw it, according to Twitter's bunk stats. So, like, I don't understand why he's not. Have you checked if he's responded yet?
I checked like right before we recorded. No response. I don't know what his problem is. Well, Ryan, what did you watch?
I'll keep you updated.
I think he just ended up watching Oppenheimer.
I do like the idea of Ryan using Twitter like people did 20 years ago. You know, I don't know if Twitter existed, but you know what I mean.
There's a very Kim Kardashian like a vibe to it. Yeah. What should I have for dinner tonight? Trying to spice up my playlists. What's some good new music I should be listening to?
Right.
Yes. Okay. If Ryan responds, we will let you know.
Future Lindsay here. It's 12:36 a.m. on Tuesday, and there is no response from Ryan. There's your update. No response from Ryan.
I want to be famous.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Can't imagine it any other way. Whoweekly.us is a Squarespace. It will always be a Squarespace. We love our Squarespace.
Even if they said no more advertising on this podcast, we would still have it be a Squarespace because honestly, it's just the easiest, sanest way to have a website on the internet at this point.
Yeah. I really can't think of another option.
No, I wouldn't even know how to do another option at this point. It's like it is a perfect way. I know they have all the features I need. If there's a new feature that I need somehow in the future, I know that they're going to have it. Mm-hmm. Let's say there's something we need to do on this website that I can't even think of right now. I know that in the future
advances,
that they will have our back.
I trust that Squarespace will keep up.
Well, because right now it's like, we have our tour dates that we're able to change on a whim,
Very
which we
easily.
need to. But Squarespace does plenty of other things. They've got, you could do a course, you could host a course, you could do analytics, you could do email campaigns, you can take payments, you can sell stuff. I mean, it's like
Sell stuff.
we could do whatever we wanted on Squarespace, and I am actually comforted knowing that I could do that in the future.
Yeah.
So head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/who and save 10% on your first purchase of a website or domain. That's 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Love my CB distillery. It helps me sleep. I love my they're called gummies. They have gummies and gummies. The gummies don't quite put me to sleep, but the gummies do put me to sleep. And I take them most nights, to be honest.
You do. I know you do because you tell me about it every time. You're like, well, that worked. And
I
for
know.
Bobby, nothing seems to be working. So this is an incredible breakthrough for you.
Genuinely a huge breakthrough for me. CB Distillery's targeted formulations are made from the highest quality, clean ingredients. No fluff, no fillers, just pure, effective CBD solutions designed to help support your health. In 2 non-clinical surveys, 81% of customers experienced more calm, 80% said CBD helped with pain after physical activity, and an impressive 90% among them, myself, said they slept better with CBD. So if you struggle with a health concern and haven't found relief, make the change like I did to CB Distillery. And with over 2 million customers and a solid 100% money-back guarantee, CB Distillery is the source to trust. We have a 20% discount code to get you started. Visit cbdistillery.com and use code WHO for 20% off. That's cbdistillery.com, code WHO. cbdistillery.com. I slept in a terrible bed at one of our dates this tour. I won't reveal where it was because I don't want to be super rude, but the bed was absolutely horrendous. Big dip in the middle. I was always like rolling into the center. It was so bad. My back hurt so bad when I woke up. And guess what? When I got home, my favorite part of being home was getting in bed.
Yeah,
I
you
was
were like back into
finally,
my mattress.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's a real bed that was chosen for me based on a quiz, the Helix quiz.
Right. And sometimes when people use my mattress, they're like, that's a little soft. And I'm like, yeah, it's made for me, not for you.
For you.
Which actually even drives home the fact that it's so made for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I kind of relish in the I mean, I don't want my friends to be uncomfortable, but I'm like, I kind of am like celebrating the fact that it's like for my body, not for yours.
Mm-hmm. I just sleep so much better on my own mattress than literally any other mattress. And that's because Helix mattresses rock. I wake up, my back doesn't hurt. I wake up, I don't have night sweats. I wake up and I'm thrilled. I wake up and I say, I love you, Helix.
That's
so
incredible.
If you want to experience the joy that I experience every
time
I get in bed,
the
and every time I get out of bed, you should go to helixsleep.com/who because you will get 25% off site-wide plus 2 free dream pillows with any mattress purchase. Plus, get a free bedding bundle, which includes 2 dream pillows, a sheet set, and a mattress protector with any Luxe or Elite mattress order at helixsleep.com/who. That's helixsleep.com/who.
I want to be famous.
We've got big Archie Panjabi news. And she didn't even have to say a word.
But I was going to say, it's not really her news. It's this roundabout kind of, if you know, you know. But it's not really news about her. That's the thing.
She never speaks about this. And that's what I think is so mystifying about this story. All of the internet knows about this. Like every gay person who watched The Good Wife is obsessed with this feud, and it has rubbed off on me, right? You have Juliana Margulies v. Archie Panjabi.
I don't know. Remember when the show was on?
2009 to 2014.
Do you remember the feud?
I remember the feud being written about. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I remember the feud being written about and feud people being spoken about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only reason I know about this feud because of the amount of attention it got. Like if you scroll down here, you'll see from 2016, Archie Panjabi finally addresses Good Wife controversy in the most frustrating way.
It's a very specific, very old feud from a show that's not on TV anymore, though I know it's a big show.
Yeah.
It's not on TV anymore.
Yeah.
So you really have to have layers of knowledge to kind of have this reaction, right? Like you have to remember that there was a feud. And the other thing is what I was going to say.
The feud is barely a
there's
feud,
nothing,
too.
There's nothing more compelling than learning that 2 people on TV who were on TV together for a
Hated
long
each other.
time and either were in a romance or best friends, that they absolutely fucking hated each other, which is like There's a lot of instances
love
of that, and we love that as a culture. We're obsessed with
And
that.
I think one of the reasons we love that is because it's like, wow, acting is magical. Because we love actors, so it's like,
Yeah, they're
wow,
actually
seeing
good
that, like,
actors.
look how good they are at acting. Because like, looks like they get along on screen. The feud, as it was written about in the past, was always very vague. It was like Archie Panjabi and Juliana Margulies were on a very successful show. They shared a lot of scenes together. Archie was a very important character. Juliana was the lead. At some point in time, Archie is written off the show. Okay? It's rumored that she was written off the show and stopped filming scenes together with Juliana because they didn't get along. But we never heard a boo about it from either person. And even in 2016, as I said,
Shout
when
out
it was
to
like,
Archie for not throwing her under the bus.
Archie
even when
and
Archie was off
Archie
the show.
has been booked and busy ever since. Archie is in everything. Archie is constantly working, right? Like Archie has too much to do to address this. And
But although I would call her a who.
yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Oh yeah. So Archie leaves. Archie was recently in that Idris Elba Apple TV Plus show. Speaking of Apple TV Plus, so they were both
one
on
where the
Apple TV
plane
Plus. Oh
crashed
yeah,
in
hijack
real time
the
or
real time
something?
hijack
Yeah.
show. Even in 2016, when it was like she addresses the controversy, all she said was, "I loved playing the role of Kalinda. I had such a good time on it. It's a role that was very special to me. I'm so thrilled to be on another show. In terms of anything that happened on The Good Wife, I think it's only respectful for it to stay on The Good Wife. It was a time for me, for many reasons, to unzip the boots and step into another show, blah, blah." So she's like, you want the tea? I refuse to open my pantry. You know, like, I'm not giving you any tea. It's not coming out. And this is how she's been for the better part of a decade.
It's not coming out.
It's not coming out.
It's not coming out.
So speaking of celebrity podcasts, which is sort of like a funny segue into this, Juliana Margulies goes on a podcast called The Back Room with Andy Ostroy. Never heard of this guy. Don't know who this is. Doesn't matter. But it was like, I guess in here it says he used to be married to Adrian Shelley, who died in that awful thing. Doesn't matter. She goes on it and says like really despicable things. She says racist stuff, homophobic stuff, like just like crazy stuff. She goes on this rant. I don't even think you should play a clip of it because it's like so
I don't want to because I think it's
awful.
really gross. But if you can find any campy disgustingness in this rant that she goes on, the funniest thing ever, and I'm sorry because it's morning show related, we have to say it, is that she says, as somebody who played a lesbian on TV,
She speaks,
and then
for queer people by saying,
lesbians.
as someone who played a lesbian journalist on the morning show.
And as someone who plays a lesbian journalist on the morning show, I'm more offended by it as a lesbian.
This is the brain of the person who's doing this.
And this is not taken out of context.
No.
I heard it. You know, like this is not like one of those things that kind of gets confused because it's so ridiculous that she says that it almost sounds like it has to be something misquoted. It's not.
And if you want to know, so instantly what I found so funny about this is that because of the mass consciousness of the Archie v. Juliana feud, the moment I saw this video go viral or the screenshot of this podcast go viral, I saw the same type of tweet over and over and over again, which was a version of Archie vindicated. We knew Archie was right. Now we know why this feud existed. And it may be as simple as we were hoping for tea. We were hoping for details. It may have been as simple as they didn't get along because Juliana was like this, you know? And I think that has been very clarifying for legions of Good Wife fans. So she's not speaking. And so it's like, yes, I felt the same way, vindicated, but we've never even heard from her about this. We just have this collective agreement that it happened, that these two women hate each other, and now we know why. The apology itself makes what she did extremely clear here. It says, "I'm horrified by the fact that statements I made on a recent podcast offended the Black and LGBTQIA+ communities I love and truly respect. I want to be 100% clear. Racism, homophobia, sexism, or any prejudice against anyone's personal beliefs or identity are abhorrent to me, full stop." She said all those things because that's what she said.
It's crazy that she was like, yes, I was all of those things. I'm confirming that what I said was all of the. I checked every single box in terms
The
of
apology of her being like, I'm horrified by what I said. No, she says, I'm horrified by the fact that what I said horrified you, but she's also acknowledging the fact that it is horrifying. It is one of the most mealy-mouthed apologies I have read in a very long time.
I thought you were gone. I was. Charles Lester is asking about you. I don't think it's safe here. It is for 5 minutes. Tequila? Sure. Yeah. With a road? I left you a note, Alicia. You didn't give it to Lester. I didn't want to. It's a confession. I left it in case anyone came after me. It gets you off the hook, Alicia. You need to give him the note.
Huge news. Huge news. We had the Footwear News Awards, but we also had Vaz J. Morgan's star-studded 35th birthday party in WeHo. The big point one, Rita didn't go. I think Rita was literally in Kosovo. She had plans. She would have done anything to be here. She wasn't there. But Just Jared had this headline: Vaz J. Morgan's star-studded 35th birthday party, full guest list revealed. I clicked through the whole slideshow. It wasn't glitchy like the Henry Cavill one was. I did get everyone. I don't think it's the full guest list because it nets out to maybe like 15 people.
I have to say, Vaz J. Morgan throws a good party and people know it. And I think that it's getting around that whoever this guy is, I don't think any of them know who he is. I think a few of them know who he is, but you know what I mean? Like, some of them are just kind of like, I heard this guy throws a fucking rager. Let's go. You know? Soleil Moonfry's like, I'm just going for the free drinks.
Soleil was...
She might be sober. I don't know, actually. I'm not. Don't put that on me.
Soleil saw a crowd of people walking into an apartment in WeHo and was like, don't mind if I do.
Soleil lives nearby, and Vaz put a note on her door like, we're having a party tonight. Sorry if we're loud. Like, don't call the cops. And she was like, I'm going.
Hey, neighbor, if there's a problem, text this number. And she's like, I'm going to put on my outfit.
Cole Sprouse and his girlfriend, Chelsea Lozcani from Selling Sunset, Jodie Turner-Smith and her brother, Peyton List and her brother, Spencer List, Lucas Haas, Casey Affleck and his girlfriend, Harry Jowsey, Logan Lerman and his new engaged fiance.
Tyga and Cher's boyfriend, A.E. Edwards.
Right, of course, normal. And then Soleil Moonfry.
Yes, but and Camila Mendez with Rudy Mancuso and Joey King and Stephen Piet. But the thing that I was going to say is the people who definitely know who he is are the Riverdale people, because one of the first times we ever talked about him at length was when we talked about @Michael, because all those Riverdale people were in Canada shooting Riverdale, and that's when they started hanging out with Michael. And who is Michael's friend? Vaz.
I am obsessed that Paris Jackson goes to this party in literally jeans, a long sleeve with her keys, carabiner to her belt. This is the most casual girly alive. Like, she's just wearing sneakers, jeans, kind of a long sleeve waffle knit, a belt, and her keys on her hip. It's like she literally just went to Costco and is like, on my way back, I'll swing by this birthday party.
I think that was the vibe for like half of the people who attended. I guess I'll swing by on my way there.
Rita would have showed up in full glam, but most people kind of just showed up in like pants, shirt.
Paris Jackson does look like, someone I bumped into in front of the Six Pack on the UT campus on my way to my like French class.
I love her.
Another person who was there, which Just Jared didn't mention, and I'm surprised Just Jared didn't mention because there are no photos of her, Maya Henry. Maya Henry was there too.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with Maya Henry.
Love Maya Henry.
What is she up to? I feel like she really, she's in her trying to influence era.
She is. Post
Liam.
Post Liam. Yeah.
Liam.
Yeah. Oh, there is a photo of her down at the bottom of the Daily Mail thing. Okay, there she is. Also, at the moment of Vaz blowing out the candles on his big cake, where everyone is sort of surrounding him and taking photos and staring at him, the person who's closest to him, the person who's literally kissing him on the cheek is, guess who that would be of all the people I listed?
Who?
Jodie Turner-Smith.
That's funny.
I'm very excited to find out what happens in this new era of Jodie Turner-Smith, and honestly, Joshua Jackson.
I think it's her partying era. It sounds like if you want to party, you hang out with Vaz and Michael. Liam Payne's ex-fiancée Maya Henry stuns in a figure-hugging blue evening dress as she attends close friend Vaz Morgan's 35th birthday.
Close friend.
And in case you were wondering, Liam Payne's ex-fiancée Maya Henry cozies up to son of Nottingham Forest FC owner Miltiadis Marinakis during romantic Mykonos getaway. So she is out here.
She is
rich guys
out here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Martin, for my mini smile makeover. I'm so pleased with the results, and I cannot wait to start with my brightening trays so I can finally have an Essex smile.
I want to be famous.
We saw one of Broadway's biggest shows, thanks to Today Ticks. Together, we sat in the second row at Book of Mormon.
It was so fun to see Book of Mormon. Fun. And not only was it fun to see Book of Mormon, obviously great show on Broadway. It was so easy to get the tickets to Book of Mormon in the Today Tix app. I got the seats that I wanted. I knew exactly where I was sitting. And then a few days before, they gave me the tickets and I sent them to each of our friends. So we each had our own little ticket. We found the show. We picked our seats. We checked out in just a few taps. It was incredible.
And you know what? I'd never seen the Book of Mormon before, and I kind of barely knew what it was about. And I had a blast.
The music is
We were
great.
right there. The music is fantastic.
And when I bought those tickets, I don't want to tell you, but I got a little bonus because Today Tix has an exciting rewards program where you can unlock perks like exclusive prices, early access to pre-sales, free seat upgrades, and more by just joining for free and becoming a member. The more shows you see, the more you earn.
I know. I'm going to use Today Tix to buy rush tickets to Sunset Boulevard soon before Nicole leaves.
Oh, are you? Are you
I just
now?
have to see it. I have to join the club.
Well, go see the Book of Mormon. Go see Sunset Boulevard. All you have to do is download the Today Tix app. That's TODAYTIX. And use the promo code WHO to get $20 off your first purchase. That's $20 off. You want to hear something fun about my most recent purchase from Quince?
I know what it is. So tell me again.
So I had to, I don't want to give it away. Well, I'm giving it away. I don't care. I had to replicate a gorgeous silk slip from the performance of Sunset Boulevard on Broadway in order to create my Halloween costume, which is, of course, Nicole Scherzinger in Sunset Boulevard, which involves, as Norma Desmond, you're going to get a dark wig, you're going to get some blood, but you also need a gorgeous silk slip. And I immediately said, oh, I know where to get that, from Quince, because I'm like, I know Quince will have a flattering, affordable, and comfortable, which is really the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because Halloween costumes, I'm not out here trying to wear some sort of like rayon, gross, itchy thing. Like I want a real slip. And so I went right to Quince and they had a beautiful black slip that I bought for my Halloween costume. But you know what? I'm going to keep wearing it. It's not just going to be a costume.
I'm sure it's a beautiful, beautiful slip.
It really is. It's really going to be gorgeous.
Slip.
And they don't just have silk slips that are affordable. They also have classic fall items like sweaters.
I just bought an overshirt from them. I love an overshirt.
An overshirt,
Yeah,
really?
I love an overshirt.
It's a cozy overshirt.
It's a cozy overshirt. It's I think it's camel colored. It's a camel colored overshirt.
Really?
Kind of like a half jacket, half shirt.
Well, Quince is known for their Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50. And it's not just that. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands, which includes leather jackets and cotton cardigans and soft denim and so much more.
And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. And of course, premium fabrics and finishes for that luxury feel in every piece. So get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/who for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/who to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/who. It's that time of year again when we do Storyworth ads.
No, it's that time of year again when we have to figure out we're going to get our friends and family for the holidays.
I know.
And we're like, what better gift than Storyworth? Truly.
It's funny that these podcast ads evolved as we get older, because we used to say it's a great gift for like your parent or grandparent or guardian or like older person in your life. But as we get older, it's like, wait, this is a great gift for all of the new parents in my life. Like people who just had a baby who can like chronicle this like important year of their lives via Storyworth. It's a great gift.
Yeah, and we've already given this gift to so many people we know, so we can vouch for the fact that it's one of the more thoughtful gifts you could give someone.
And here's how it works. Each week, Storyworth emails your loved one a thought-provoking question that you get to help pick. They're like, what's the bravest thing you've ever done? What's the farthest place you've ever traveled? How'd you used to get to school every day? Whatever. And then it makes the writing process a breeze, so all your loved one needs to do is respond to the email with the story, long, short, up to them. You will be emailed a copy of your loved one's response as they're submitted over the course of a year, and then after that year, Storyworth compiles all of those stories and photos into a beautiful keepsake hardcover book that you'll be able to share and revisit for generations to come. Families love Storyworth. That's why it has more than 35,000 five-star reviews on Trustpilot, with millions of stories preserved since they were founded over 10 years ago. So help your family share and capture their stories this holiday season with Storyworth. Go to storyworth.com/who today and save $10 on your first purchase. That's STORYWORTH.com/who to save $10 on your first purchase. Storyworth.com/who.
I want to be famous.
Freddie Prinze Jr. is a Scrooge when others ask him what he wants for Christmas. No, Freddie Prinze is like an everyman good guy at this point in media culture. Like him and Sarah Jessica Parker. Nope. Him and Sarah Michelle Gellar are like, they're very much like Endgame. It's very much the era of like two co-stars getting together and actually it working. Like somehow beyond all odds, like these two are still together, which is kind of a miracle.
These two are the ones. Yeah. It's weird.
We really should be putting them on a pedestal because it's so strange. And then he was kind of like, in my post-hunk era, I'm going to do a little bit of acting, but I'm also going to like get really into wrestling and I'm going to have like all these other things I do. And then I'm also going to, let me look. I'm also going to team up with Libby's Vegetables to share his special recipe for Thanks and Giving program. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's getting paid for this, but it is charitable content. Like, I thought, oh, good job, Libby's and Us Weekly, because when I saw the headline, Freddie Prinze Jr. is a Scrooge when others ask him what he wants for Christmas exclusive, I was like, I got to click this and see why Freddie Prinze Jr. is a Scrooge when others ask him what he wants for Christmas. And it was entirely spawned for his Libby's and Meals on Wheels partnership. And I was like, okay, good.
He's not a Scrooge. Okay, first of all, Us Weekly doesn't know what a
good
Scrooge
tricking job
is.
No.
Saying I don't want anything because I have enough. I like the things my kids make me, but I talk to Sarah Michelle Gellar every year and I say, don't get me anything. And she'll get me something she knows I like, but it's always a little thing. I have the stuff I want. Scrooge like actively steals gifts. He's not like, don't get me anything.
I don't mean to derail us really quickly, but I do mean to derail us really quickly. Did you see this tweet that I'm looking at it now because I saw it last night and like, couldn't stop laughing. Speaking of Scrooges, this is a Grinch tweet. It says, trigger warning, Grinch. I'm literally fucking shaking right now. He took everything. He even took my last can of Who Ash. Trigger warning, Grinch. Trigger warning, Scrooge.
Even that joking tweet has a better grasp on what the Grinch is than
Yes.
Us Weekly. Because Us Weekly is calling a man who doesn't want anything because he has too much stuff a Grinch, when the fucking Grinch, and again, as someone who is not a Christmas-minded person, even I know that the Grinch steals Christmas gifts. He doesn't not give you them. He takes them.
And Scrooge, when others ask Scrooge what he wants for Christmas, he's like, I want your money. I want your job. I want you to be unhappy. You know, like, Scrooge isn't like, oh, don't give me anything. Scrooge isn't Freddie Prinze Jr. vibes in the slightest.
We're trying to call Scrooge anti-capitalist. In fact, he's quite capitalist. You know, like Scrooge is like, gimme, right?
He's famously capitalist. Yeah.
Thank you.
Famously.
And he's not. And if Christmas is about like giving, then Scrooge is about taking. Like, it's not like, don't get me anything. Thank you.
That's the extent of our complaints about Freddie Prinze Jr. Because apart from that, he seems to be doing a good job. He seems to be good.
I'm sure the other shoe will drop, but for now, fine.
Sabrina Carpenter and Barry Keoghan were spotted together at dinner and flirting.
This is kind of a gag. Right?
I did something close to a gasp. I definitely quickly sent it to you and Timmy. I was like,
Sabrina Carpenter is kind of cleaning up. She was like rumored to have been dating Shawn Mendes, which no, you're not. And then soon after, she's spotted out to dinner with Big Barry. I don't know why I'm calling him Big Barry. With Barry K.
I like call him Big Barry. I like that.
Well, he's kind of little. I guess that's kind of what he's not even that little.
Did you see his fit
he's
at the
taller than me, but
Academy Awards last night?
Yeah, he was so funny. He was so cute.
I love him.
He's really slaying. He's really trying to slay. Okay, what I love about this is it's like people were at the same time like, isn't he married? Which is really funny that people assumed he was married, because not only is he not married, he was not. He like has not been married for a long. I think he was married once a really long time ago, broke up, dated like an orthodontist, a nurse, and then they had a kid together, and then they broke up.
They broke up over the
because
summer,
of like his kind of rise to fame becoming a little bit like distracting. I think that was all the rumors to that. They've grown apart over recent months, and things have finally come to a head. His partying caused arguments, is what the Sun said in July.
I don't know that he ever was married to the person he dated before the orthodontist, but he definitely had a long-term relationship before he got a little famous. Then once he got famous, he dated the orthodontist.
I don't know why I'm calling her an orthodontist.
She worked at a dentist dental nurse and orthodontic therapist.
Yeah, the one, maybe he was never married, but it's just funny because everybody heard him talking about his kid a lot and assumed
Who's
he
a little
was
over a year
married.
old
And
now.
for some reason, there was just this kind of like consensus that he was married. Therefore, when he was spotted at a romantic dinner, which, by the way, I saw these tweets like really they were really they were a little bit too descriptive for my liking. You can't just post a pic and say romantic dinner. Like I'm gonna need
They were
a kiss
definitely
or
doing something
right?
together, but I was expecting something hot and heavy, and I just got,
And it was
mild
just
and
two
light.
people leaving a restaurant.
Mhm.
Right. Well, it's just like they were walking,
Right,
Right.
right.
But I do love them as a couple. Because it's kind of like unexpected. And
too.
and she's fresh off offending the Catholic Church,
I walked by that church over the weekend, and I was like, oh, prayers. Prayers up. I like this for this reason. And can you guess what this reason is?
What?
If they stayed together for the next 4 months, she would walk the red carpet with him at the Oscars. Because he was nominated last year. He'll come this year. Even if he doesn't get Saltburn shit.
He should come this year, and I hope she comes with him.
Barry
You know
and
I
Sabrina?
love Sabrina Carpenter.
They'd slay together.
The Adventures in Babysitting alum, 24, was on a dinner date with Irish actor Barry Keoghan, 31.
The tall girl actor and the It'll Be Okay singer. Well, that's about Shawn Mendes and Sabrina, but I like calling her the tall girl actor.
The Girl Meets World alumna had chunky black boots on her outing with the BAFTA winner. It's like they keep doing this. Like, wait, did you see, sorry, before we move on, did you see her response to the church thing?
Oh, she was like, yeah, Jesus was a carpenter? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The person who was responsible for letting it shoot in the church got in even bigger trouble, and I think they keep asking Sabrina about it, and she's like, this is kind of none of my business. Like, she's
really
making her quips.
business.
She's like, look, we wanted to shoot here. They said we could, so we did. After that, not our problem. Like...
But the fact that her fans call her carpenters, come on. Come on.
Due with the break, Dua Lipa splits from filmmaker Romain Gavras before things turned sour.
My point is that this was Rita Ora's ex-boyfriend.
Yes,
too.
okay.
That's all that I know about him.
So-
And he's a music video director.
And now we can move on. And also, she's entering a new era, so she needs a new boyfriend, or she needs no boyfriend. She's about to be very
I think
busy.
she needs no boyfriend.
No boyfriend is a good idea.
Divorce. David Lynch and his wife debuted their first single, James Kennedy, Who Cares, Pregnant, Bad Baby. I did do a little gasp at Bad Baby Pregnant, which she announced on Instagram, and I was like, Bad Baby's having a baby. Bad Baby having a baby. She's 20, it's fine. She's not a baby. She's 20 years old. She can
Uzo
have a
Aduba
baby, I
gave
guess, if
birth.
she wants.
Wrote a very,
That's nice.
expectedly, beautiful caption with
Sure.
the baby. What else?
Hope she didn't have a bad baby. Am I right? Okay. Kissing. This is another Sabrina Carpenter kind of esque thing. Dove Cameron is smooching the lead singer from Måneskin, Damiano David, who was just literally cheating on his ex at some point.
Yeah,
and
he
it was a big
had to
drama that
comment
we-
on it.
Right. I think we talked about it maybe. They were smooching on Bondi Beach.
Looking for Love. K. Michelle's going on Queen's Court, which is the reality show we talked about during its first season because Tamar met that guy, but then they broke up. I had a dream about K. Michelle last night.
Wait, what was the dream?
I remember perfectly because I had very vivid dreams last night. One of them, I ran into a friend of mine who had a baby, and I was throwing away trash.
Wait, you were what?
I ran into a friend of ours, you know them, I won't name them, who had a baby, and they were walking down. Oh, it's coming back to me.
What?
They were walking down the street.
What did you do to the baby?
With the baby stroller, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And then we passed, and then I turned around to throw my coffee into a trash can, but then it just hit her in the back, and the coffee went everywhere. Not on the baby, but on our friend. And then I was like, "Oh no!" And she got really mad at me. She started I can't believe you would do this to me. And I was like, it was an accident. But the other dream that I had, look, full disclosure, I took a gummy last night and for sleep, and it gave me very, very vivid dreams. So
I gotta say that's a very symbolic dream. If you could really parse that out.
it wasn't random at all because I recently ran into this person, so they were top of mind.
Sure.
So the other dream I had was I was walking down some sort of boardwalk. I don't know, Coney Island, Atlantic City. It was a boardwalk, and K. Michelle was on the boardwalk singing country music like a street performer. And I was like, oh my God, it's K. Michelle. And we were with a friend of ours who loves K. Michelle, and we sat there and watched her sing country music. Yeah, you're correct.
I literally know who you're talking about because
Yes.
they texted us about loving K. Michelle.
There's a very one-to-one line like with these dreams. Like they all make
Well, your
perfect
dreams
sense.
are so literal. It's like somebody I recently saw and then coffee, or somebody I recently saw and K. Michelle.
I'm saying like sleep gummies give me very weird dreams.
Gone are the days where you could just like go to sleep and dream that you were nude in front of the classroom in middle school,
Or like your
something.
teeth are
Bobby's
falling
having
off,
these
right.
like like Bobby's having these dreams that like even a dream person could not really parse.
One of the vemiest dreams in my repertoire is like, oh no, the finals tomorrow and you haven't gone to class all semester, which never stops. It never goes away, that dream. It always pops up.
But I feel like you would just dream like, I fell asleep and I went to see Maestro in theaters. And then your whole dream is just you watching Maestro again. Because it's just like, it happened.
No, it would be, I went and saw Maestro in theaters and Carrie Mulligan was there. Did you talk to her? No, but she was there.
Yeah. So there's only one slight difference.
Yeah.
But it's like, and it had no bearing.
I
on
literally
the rest of the
feel like in the K. Michelle dream, our friends said to each other, we spoke and said, I love K. Michelle. And then someone else said, I love K. Michelle too. Like these weren't interesting dreams. I love K. Michelle.
I feel like K. Michelle paid for placement in your dream.
What was she wearing? Where was she seen? She posted what on Instagram? She's the Who Queen. Tens of people want to know all about the number one Who. Lindsay, Bobby, tell us now. What's Rita Ora up to?
Who is this woman?
As I said before, Rita is in Kosovo. And the reason here is so that the Daily Mail headline teases it, but it's actually pretty interesting. Rita Ora returns to her native
for their
Kosovo
Independence
as she makes surprise
Day.
career move away from the music industry. Well, it's for their Independence Day, but also this rumor is that she's working on a documentary about Kosovo, like the history of Kosovo.
Okay. Sure. The singer has been working with the same team behind the latest Nirvana film as she delves into a project focused on the youth culture of her homeland.
Yeah. I think they mean the one that was on Netflix. I think that's what they're talking about.
I gotta say, it's not surprising. Why? Because she married a filmmaker. So who does she meet all day long? Filmmakers. And I'm sure
talking about ideas.
She has these. They love her. She's enigmatic. They're having these great conversations, and they're like, "You should make a documentary about." Well, it's about the underground culture of kids in Kosovo. Fun. She's like, I want to talk to the youths. Oh, because 60% of Kosovo's population is under the age of 35.
Rita Ora wears a leggy mini dress as she joins husband Taika Waititi at Business of Fashion Gala dinner. She said, I'm not going to the Footwear News Awards. I got to go to the Business of Fashion Gala dinner.
Future Lindsay here. I don't know how we missed this, but Rita Ora also wore this like incredible prosthetics, chrome, spiky spine coming out of her back at the Fashion Awards at the Royal Albert Hall in London. It's incredible. And if you recall, last year, she also did prosthetics at this very same award show. So she really upped the game with her spiky spine. Maybe we'll talk about it again next week, but I just feel like we really missed that. Okay, bye.
Rita Ora risks bearing all in racy, plunging halter neck dress that goes down to her belly button, which is captioned with "all right," like all right, I guess.
Rita Ora looks typically stylish in a cream satin padded jacket and orange sunglasses as she joins husband Taika Waititi at Adidas party.
God, they are such like fuck boys.
They
Their fashion
really-
is so like. It's like
They
okay,
really,
mate.
really are. I would love to see, and Elena's
about
there,
youth
obviously.
culture.
Mel C was
Of
also
course,
there.
and Mel C. They're all wearing little track suits. It's a very British event because
Yeah,
there's
this is in
people
London.
I've never heard of, like Dynamo and Abby Roberts and Elena C. and Shaka Khan. I know who that is. Shaka Khan was there. She looks great.
Wait, Shaka Khan was there? Oh, there she is. Oh, she performed.
Yeah, keep scrolling.
slay.
Keep
Oh, there she
scrolling.
is.
Keep
There she is.
scrolling.
There she is. There
You'll
she
get to
is.
Shaka Khan if you keep scrolling.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Who Weekly. Keep calling in at 619-WHO Them to leave questions, comments, and concerns for our Friday show, Who's There? Thank you to Katie and Eric of the Who's for providing our media theme song on Tuesdays. Thank you to Timmy, our research and editorial assistant, for researching and editorializing. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Haven't said that in a while. We'd love to see your ratings and reviewings. Support us on patreon.com/whoweekly for bonus episodes, a Discord server, and more. This past week, we talked about the Gilded Age. We talked about May, December for a long time. Charles Melton. We caught up with Meghan Markle. A lot of Emmy stuff. Great episode. You can also subscribe for the audio only on Apple Podcasts. That's audio only. And we'll see you on Friday. Bye.
Bye.
You will dream it.
Mia. They want to know. Hey.
Mia.
Hey.
Mia.
Come on. Hey. I want to be famous.
George Santos is back, and he's ready to share the real story behind the headlines.
To set the record straight and put this into record on my first podcast.
Is it true that you have an OnlyFans page and you can peel a banana with your feet?
I don't have one. I just discovered what OnlyFans was about 3 weeks ago. This might not be the return you were expecting, but this coming January, you'll hear my side of the story. You may be surprised at what you find out. I hope you'll join me.
Listen to George Santos on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.